This conference will now be recorded.
So do previously we completed like what's performance testing and why we need a performance testing and the types, right? So today we'll continue with the life cycle. Okay. So the life cycle I'm just talking about. So now we'll talk about a life cycle. Let me screen share. So any doubts in previous class? So any terminologies, like why we need a performance testing, what's the type? So do you have any doubts in the completed one? Okay, I'll take it as no. Stop me if we have any doubts. Okay. So today we are going to see the phases, okay, the different life cycles of performance testing. So when we start a performance testing, okay, we need to collect an NFR. NFR means, as I said, it's a non-functional requirement. Then once we gathered a requirement, then we'll start a test plan. After complete a test plan, then we'll start the scripting. Then we'll do an executions and after executions we'll do test analysis and the final is report, test report, the summary report. Okay, so today we'll see the NFR. Okay, so NFR means non-functional requirement. So how we have to start the requirement gathering means you have to collect the NFR from the business analyst. Okay, so NFR from whom we got NFR means from the business analyst. So in the NFR, maybe note it down. Okay, if you have any doubts please let me know. Okay, so once you started a performance testing project, okay, you need to understand the scenario. Okay, because before scripting you need to understand something, right? So what we are going to do in a scripting phase or execution phase, even a sign off, okay, which applications it is going to the productions. So in a requirement gathering you have to get the detailed understanding of the scenario. Okay, then scenario means, as I said, the scenario means which are the flow we are going to cover. Okay, then you have to understand the architecture diagram. Okay, you have to understand how the application architecture. Okay, first you have to, for NFR I'll tell you what are the things. First you need to, these are the things we need to understand. Okay, you have to understand the scenario, then you have to understand the architecture. Why means, so that to function, if you want to start the functional testing, what you have to do, you will do the flow, whatever activities you are doing, you will check whether the button is working, whether you will get a pop-up, whether this alignment is proper or not. You will check the functionality of the applications, right? But here what we will test in a performance testing, we are going to fine tune the applications for the particular user load. Then only the user, real user, will experience somewhat speed, right? To check those you need to understand the architecture. Okay, then you need to understand the components like a hardware, different servers, like what are the hardwares built, what the configurations, how many servers they have placed in productions. So these are the details you have to understand. Okay, the next is you have to understand the scope. Scope means, how will you determine the scope means, so why you need to understand the scope means, from, if you're taking one application, if you're taking one application, there will be different flow and scenario, correct? For example, you are taking Flipkart. Okay, there are so many functions. You can place the order, you can cancel the order, or you can search something, some product, or you can view your profile, or you can check your cart. There are so many flows, there are so many scenarios, right? So you have to understand the scope of the applications. Okay, which in the application, which are the flow you are going to test. I'll tell you why we need to understand the scope means, there are two things in the scope. that might be frequently used scenario or mission critical scenarios. I'll tell you what is frequently used and mission critical. Okay, frequently used means, okay, in a performance testing, okay, you will not cover all the flows, right? You will not cover all the flow. If you're taking one applications, you will not do the entire flow, correct? You have to check the frequently used. You need to understand those requirement. Frequently used means, if you take the same flip card, you will place the order, you will search the order, you will cancel the order, you will view the cards, you will view the profile. But in real time, the view profile will be used by less number of users, right? The frequently used will be the other scenarios. So this, like the same way, you have to understand which is frequently used and which is critical scenarios. Okay, critical means definitely critically every time you will place the order, so more number of users will access the applications. Frequently used means some set of users, they will do some searching the product. Okay, the all of the time they will come and they will search the product. For example, 50 users, so maybe critical scenarios they will use some 100 users. So these are the frequently used and the critical scenarios you have to understand in a NFR place. Okay, suppose if you are, if they are new to performance testing, correct, if they are new to performance testing, they will not know which is frequently used and which is critical scenarios, correct? So at the time you have to communicate with the business analyst. So we have to ask, so which are the user journey we need to cover. So these details we have to get it from business user. Okay, first initially to get an NFR, we have to communicate with the BA, business analyst. The BA, the business analyst, from where we will get those requirement? From the business user. Okay, from the client they will get the requirement and we are going to do the testing for the particular applications. Okay, then very important thing, you need to understand the applications, right? You need to understand the application of the architectures and everything. If it is an already used applications, try to get the team, is that already tested? Do we have any document already, reported document already, uh, any defect raised? So try to gather those informations from the requirement place, because for example, maybe whatever we are going to test the applications may be already tested by other organizations, or maybe this is newly, maybe for example in the Flipkart itself they will add a new functionality, right? So we already tested few scenarios, but this release we are going to test the additional scenarios, correct? Getting my point? So you need to understand those as well. Okay, maybe it's already tested or we are going to test by first time. So these details are, you have to get it from NFR. Clear so far? Any doubts? Stop me if you have any queries. Okay, then very important thing from the NFR, try to understand the application is equal to productions or not. Equal to prod or not. Prod in the sense I'm just talking about productions. Why we need to understand whether it is equal to productions or non-equal to productions means, so whatever applications we are getting, the server configurations, everything should be matched to production, because in productions they are in assumptions to test for 500 users. Okay, but if they are giving scale down applications and we are putting same load for 500 users, you will not get the proper result, right? Because it's not equal to production, but we are giving users is equal to production ratio. That is not good, right? So try to understand the application whatever they are going to get, it is equal to productions or not, and it should be dedicated environment. Okay, I'll tell you why we need a dedicated environment. Okay, definitely when you are doing a functional testing, there will be a scale down applications. Okay, they'll not be equal to production. Okay, if you are doing those performance testing in a shared environment instead of dedicated environment, you are doing a performance testing in shared environment means what happened, your requirement is to test only for 150 user, correct? So for example, they are giving only 150 users to test. But if it is a shared environment, what happened, when you are running a test, one more user, maybe the functional tester or other people will test the applications, you are putting more load. At the time the same whatever putting your load, right, it will hit to the server, so you will get different response time. Instead of putting a 150 users load, they are putting more users, right? But you are expecting results based on some NFR, right? So it should not be the case. So you have to get the dedicate environment. Clear? Any doubts? And try to get the document, that's very important. If it's an already tested, try to understand, okay, what are the user journey they tested, what are the scenarios they have added newly. So try to understand this. Any doubts? Stop me if I'm going too fast or ask questions. Okay, then in a configuration, right, I'm just talking about configurations, right? In a configurations, get all the server details and everything in along with an SLA. Okay, SLA means service level agreement. For example, how many servers the particular dedicated environment have. Okay, what are those IP address. Okay, and what is the CPU utilizations we can reach, memory utilization, what is the disk is a maximum SLA. So those details also try to get from the team. Why I'm talking about try to get the IP address means maybe in future if you're not getting those details in NFR means, okay, once you get a sign off, the people will blame, okay, the performance testing. Okay, no, this server is having scale down. Okay, so you tested 150 users in this server, it's not the right way. So they provided a service, but maybe because there is no document maintained, they will they are giving the different servers means maybe there is some miscommunications happen, right? So whatever details you can get from the business analyst, get from the team. Okay, so means business analyst, they will not give an IP address, a server, everything the development team or support team will do, but the requirement you will get from business analyst. Okay, based on business users. Any doubts so far? NFR is very important. Without NFR, you will not start the scripting and executions, and you will not able to send a reporting, because based on NFR only, you will start which are the critical scenarios that user journey you will test in scripting part, and based on NFR only you will do one executions, correct? So based on NFR only the report you will send, yes, it met the requirement, right? So this NFR is very important. Okay, any doubts? And as I'm talking about the scenarios, right, you understand the scenarios. Okay, try to get the steps, means the traversal flow. Okay, try to get the flow they will get from dev or from the functional team. Okay, try to get which are the critical scenarios we are going to cover and what is the steps, and very important thing, for each step what is the SLA, that is response time we need to achieve, and what is the throughput we have to achieve, correct? Without knowing this response time, you will not Oh, no, right? Without knowing this user, you will not know how many users you have to put for each flows, how many RT it should achieve, and how many throughput it achieve. So we are not aware of, right? So try to get those things in NFR, okay? So NFR is nothing but non-functional requirement. You have to understand the requirement. You have to understand the application first. In the applications, what are the scenarios we are going to test, and the scenarios how we have to design, how we are going to give the pattern, how many users we are going to give, how we are going to achieve the TPH in this. Any doubts? And one more thing, try to understand the types. We talked about performance type, right? Load test, stress test, spike, endurance. So there are lots, various types. So you have to get from the team what types they are expecting. We will not cover all those types in same release. Okay. For example, one, you have to ask the team, okay, when they are going to give the dedicated environment. For example, today's date is December 5, right? December 5 you got environment, okay? You got environment, dedicated environment, okay? So you have 10 scenarios, okay? 10 scenarios. Each scenario is 100 step, means for example they are telling December 21st you have to complete the performance testing, okay? So within 5 to 21st you have to decide, okay, whether you will cover all the 10 scenarios or not, okay? Each scenarios how many steps are not, right? So you'll not know, right? You once you get the travels of flow, then you'll know, okay, we have 10 scenarios and each scenarios have this much steps. Okay, they gave this environment today and they are expecting 21st to complete, and the go live date is maybe like December 30, okay? December 30 it will go to prod, okay, the go live date. So understand this, when we are going to get the environment, when you are going to start the performance testing, and when you are going to end the performance testing, and what is your go live date, okay? Maximum you will not test till 29, okay? So they will try to do 1 week prior, okay? The application should be stable, then it will go to prod. But still it needs a fine tune the application, it will get extend, you will test till 29, okay? But everything will be depends on your resource, right? Suppose you have only one member team, you have 10 scenarios to complete, each scenarios have 100 stuff, that is not possible, correct? So you have to understand this. As well as this, I'll tell you why the types is important, okay? You will not cover all the things, okay? Definitely you have to do load test, okay? Some people they will tell stress test and break. Last class I said stress is nothing but to identify the breakpoint of the application is nothing but stress, correct? But in some project they will call it as stress, means for example in load we have 100 users, okay? In stress they will maybe test 200 or 300 users, okay? Or they will also call us 2x load, 3x load, means understand the load first and what they are talking about stressing, what they are want 2 or 3. 2x means 200 users, 3x means 300 users. Breakpoint means they will not sure about the users, they want to understand the breakpoint where the application is getting crash. So we are not sure, 400 might crash, so 500 might crash, or even 1000 might crash, we are not sure, right? So this particular breakpoint will take some time, right? So you will not cover all the things in this particular period. So you need some time for scripting, you need some time for an executions, you have to time for result analysis, everything, right? So from this is NFR is very important before getting sign off, before getting you are going to approve, right? So understand the types and which are the types we are going to test and what is your deadline. It's very, very important. So far you are clear, okay? You will understand, okay? You will connect with the development team or functional team, everything, okay? You will understand the user journey and everything. But these two is very, very, very important. Try to understand this two bit, okay? And based on your resource, mostly NFR meeting will happen with a test lead. Suppose lead will be actually main role. Suppose nowadays even junior people will start and doing the performance testing and everything, right? From NFR, right? From single person. So try to understand this and based on your resource, decide everything and communicate properly and then get sign off from the business team. Okay, this is NFR we got from development team and a business. Okay, we are okay with this NFR and we are fine. Okay, you can get the approval. Clear? These two are very, very important. Okay, try to understand the types and understand the dates, okay? Because they will tell today as dedicated environment they will share, right? Because of some lag, right? Because of some lag they will give 7 or 8 or 9, they will extend, right? But your deadline will be only 21st, correct? They will not change the deadline. Maybe for sharing the environment they will get delay. Maybe after complete the scripting you they need some time to fine tune the application, that will get delay. But they will not change the go live, correct? Maybe for worst scenario they will change the go live. But so what happened, you will be the responsible, okay? Development team, maybe definitely they will take some time to share the environment, okay? Clearly communicate the team, okay? So these are the things we targeted, okay? Suppose if they share lately, if the environment is not good, oh, they need a fine tune the applications, so this date will not be proper. So tell the risk, okay? Tell the risk from your point, okay? They communicate everything and don't be verbal, okay? Create everything should be a document and get proper sign off, then start the next thing. Clear? Any doubt in NFR? Because NFR is very, very important. Everything is important, but NFR is the initial stage. So maybe in interview questions, right? So if you're putting some more experience or something, they will ask what are the challenge you faced in NFR? Have you participated in NFR? Because they will try to evaluate you, right? They will try to evaluate you whether really you participated in NFR or not, right? So just know what are the details you have to ask, okay? Ask questions, understand the requirement, and be clear with the requirement and deadline, okay? Whether you are able to complete it or not, okay? And very important thing in last in NFR is, so you have to tell, suppose they are not decided, either JMeter or we also have another tool or LoadRunner or something, right? So they're not decided, okay? So you have, for example, you finalized two scenarios. So you will not know how the two scenarios work. You will never see the flow, right? So you need some time to do the POC. Correct. You need to some time to do POC, whether it's support only in JMeter or LoadRunner will support which tool we are going to use, because LoadRunner is licensed. Correct. So it will support only free 50 users. But it's an open source tool, JMeter. You can use a number of users, but that much machine configuration should be there. Correct. So you need some time to do the POC as well in worst cases if they are not decided a tool. Okay. So maybe before these NFR gets decided, you would try to connect with the functional team, then do some on POC. Add those details to the team. Okay, we need some time to do the POC. Okay, this much time we'll need. Okay, we are facing some scripting challenge. So it may vary, right? So This is also be important. Okay, understand the tool, which are the tool we are going to use. So whether this application is look wise, the flow will be simple: launch, login and log out. Okay, but we are not sure whether you need to implement something, whether it's shared applications. So we are not sure, right? So everything be properly communicated before sign off. Okay, any doubt in NFR? Am I audible right first? Mm. Pradeep, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, thank you, Tej. Yeah. Okay. So ask doubt. Okay. If you have any doubts, okay, stop me. Okay. So I'll try to share those document at end of the sections, and I'll show you visually as well. Okay. The real time project how it looks like. Okay. I'll try to share at the end of this class. Okay. I'll share my mind personally. Okay.
Sure,
So
thank you.
this is the NFR. Okay. NFR clear, right? Okay. Then we'll see test plan alone today. Okay, don't get overload. Okay, to see the test plan. Okay, so I said who will create an FR? So you'll get NFR from the BA, business analyst. Correct. You will get NFR from BA team. So you will ask all the details from the team and you will get sign off. Correct. Right. Okay, we are fine. Okay, we can proceed the testing. So in a meeting, you will decide and you are going to start the performance testing. Okay. So you will not simply start the performance testing. Okay. Be clear. After complete the NFR, you will not simply start the performance testing. Okay. So you have to create some plan. Okay. So plan in the sense how you will create a plan. Okay, so you understood. Okay, this is my go live date. Okay, this is my user journey we are going to start. Correct. Okay, these are the tools we decided. Correct. So everything it got decided. So how to start the plan, I'll tell you. Maybe I'll write it here. Okay. Once again. Okay, now I'll write it here itself. Okay, now we'll see test plan. Hmm. Okay, so you understood. Okay, so this is the release we are going to test. Okay, this is a fresh release or is already tested. It's a second release, so you know everything. And what is the go live date, you know everything. So you agree with the NFR. Okay, so how you create a document, I'll tell you. First is project objective. Okay, so why we are going to do performance testing for these applications? So you understood from the architectures and scenarios, everything. Write your objective. Okay, this is what maybe this application they did tune in database. Maybe this version they newly built this architecture and everything. So whatever you understand, write your objectives from the NFR. The first is an objective. Okay, high level objectives. Then second is testing objective. Okay, testing objective means, okay, yes, I'm going to validate this is the user journey for this particular types of test, and this is an SLA I'm going to test. Yes, I will validate the client side metrics and the server side metrics, everything, and I will test the bottleneck, right? So what is your objectives? You will identify the bottleneck based on your scenarios, you will validate and everything, right? So write your objectives. Okay, this is my objectives, this what I understood from the project perspective, and this is what I'm going to test it. So testing objectives. Okay, then important thing is performance testing scope. It's very important. I'll tell you why this scope is important. Okay, because you clearly mention, okay, what is your scope and what is out of scope. Clearly mention your scope and out of scope. Why I'm going to mention the scope and out of scope means, for example, in scope you are in NFR, they said you are going to do load test. Okay, only load test, not stress or endurance or spike or anything. Mention in scope only load test. Okay, because the proper communications. Okay, this is what I understood, this is what I got from NFR, this is what my scope. Okay, write your scope, everything. And suppose, for example, you don't have any monitoring. Okay, you don't have any server monitoring. So who will going to monitor your test? Either you or dev or functional testing team or other team. Okay, write those in out of scope. Suppose if you are not doing, okay, whatever you are doing, whatever you are not doing, just split it. Okay, clearly mention, okay, this is what I'm going to do, because everything is based on your deadline. Okay, if you have enough time, fine, but still be clear with your scope and out of scope. Okay, and one point is very important in this: test data. Okay, for example, you got two flow. First flow, you have to launch the applications, log in the applications, you have to place the order and log out. Second scenario, launch the application, log in the application, cancel the product and sign up. So two, one is place the order, second is cancel the order. Okay, but if you take it for 150 user, we are going with the example for 150 for every time. Okay, if I'm changing, I'll tell you. Okay, if we're going with 150 users every time, we are going 150 users. Okay, you need login, right? You, without login you will not place the order, without login you will not cancel the order. But your flow is only two flow, what I said: place the order and cancel the order, right? One is place the order and second is cancel the order. But you need login for two scenarios, right? So this will add your extra effort, right? You need a test data, correct? You need a test data. So who will create those login? Who will going to provide? You have to create a test data, or dev team, or who is going to give those test data? So be clear with those points and clearly mention. So fine, if you have 150 users, you will create another script. You will create script for creating a test data for login. This is test data. You will create one script, right? Test data script. Suppose just talk about 1500 users, it will take one more day, right? Half a day. For every test you have to create a test data. So you need an additional day, additional time, right? It will extend additional effort, right? Apart from these two scenarios, you need an additional thing, correct? So who is going to do that? Clear? For example, if it's test data created, you will do, correct? Let's talk about if already backup applications. In real time they have a database configuration, correct? So what happened? First time, only one time, you will create a login, you will do the test. You will create a login. Okay, first you will create a login, they will do the backup, you will run a test, and they will restore after running the test. Clear? Getting my point? understand it. Okay, maybe if it's one time you understand, okay, you are going to create it. Okay, maybe if it's not reusable, second time also you have to create another 1500 users. For third test, again 1500 users you have to create. For fourth test, till the application is well and good, you have to create users, right, for every test. So think about it. For every test you want to create a user means that's not possible, right? If it's a database, okay, one time we can create, they will take a backup, you will run the test, and they will restore. Clear? Any confusion? So who is going to do what? Just write the scope and out of scope. Out of scope means you are not going to do. Scope means yes, I'm going to do from the scratch whatever it's needed for these two scenarios. Clearly mention. Please write it everything and communicate everything. Okay, these are the things I want to do. Okay, this is not my job. Okay, clearly mention everything. Execution part, who is going to monitor everything. Mention scope and out of scope. Any doubt? Okay. So you can write a bullet point. So load test I'm going to cover, out of scope I'm not going to cover. Maybe like another heading like a performance test approach. In paragraph you can write, okay, test data whatever I mentioned, I'm going to approach this way like a detailed manner. Any doubt? So don't get confused. Test plan, it's completely a theoretical document, no other way, but you have to, without understanding the NFR, what's your requirement, you will not able to write the NFR. Okay, sorry, test plan. Okay, so who is responsible for test plan? Lead, but still it depends on project. Okay, but everything here, you after complete your test plan, you have to do the peer review with the team lead and everything. Then you will get a sign off from the client and as well as the dev team. Okay, this is my approach, these are the standard we are going to follow in our project. Clear? The responsible wise is a test lead, but still nowadays even everyone started preparing, right? But it still need a peer review with the test lead, then you will get a sign off. Okay, done. So I'll complete only test plan. So then we'll see next thing later. Okay, then very important thing, workload distribution. So in a workload distribution, okay, this user journey, this is the response time we got, and this is the SLA we got. Okay, just copy paste from the NFR the workload distribution. Okay, to tell them, okay, this is the scenario and this is the SLA we are going to cover. Clear? And metrics also, just try to cover performance metrics. Yes, this CPU utilization should be less than 60 percentage. I'll consider as proper run, not more than 60 percentage. So whatever SLA you got, just try to mention the metrics. Workload distribution is different, metrics is different. Metrics, I am just talking about an SLA, on what basis you will consider as a good performance. Workload distribution, just mention what are the scenario, how many users count you got, how much to throughput you have to achieve, that is workload. Okay, mention metrics, SLA in metrics. Okay, also mention the assumption as I said. Okay, maybe for example, if today's environment is down or after one run they fine tune the application, definitely this date will get extended, right? Just mention, okay, that mention those point and everything. Okay, and acceptance criteria, criteria. Okay, in acceptance criteria, what you will do, you were whatever transactions you are having, right? So there is some response time, right? So there might be a failure rate. Okay, just check with the team. They for some application, for example, two scenarios having 100 steps. Okay, overall 100 steps. Okay, in one of the particular step, okay, it's failing, but error rate is very less, 1% or 2%. Check with the team how much overall failure rate they will agree. Maybe they will agree not more than 3%, not more than 1%. They will not even consider, they don't want a failure at all. Okay, so just check with the team, is there any failure rate accepted or not? Okay, for example, login, they are giving 1 second of response time. Okay, but maybe like 1.1 seconds if you are getting, means whether they are accepting or not, or they need to write a defect. So they want 100% should be under an SLA, or how they want. So understand the acceptance criteria with the team. Okay, how the 90% should be, what is the transaction failure rate should not exceed how many percentage. Okay, is there any open defect should be there or not? Okay, try to understand that. Okay, and mention everything in Upmantis. Okay, which URL you are going to test, what servers details they have shared. URL is very important because NFR you communicated, right? So you communicated with the people and you got everything. So once you got this testing, which URL they have shared, right? So just mention those URL, what is the server detailed, if they have any monitoring URL, so what is the URL for this. So try to get all the details in this appendix. Okay, and mention here an NFR path, just link it here. Okay, this is NFR path, maybe this one tag, I mean link this. Okay, this is NFR link. Okay, already any document are that, just add those details in this. Clear? Because they will review a test plan, right? Suppose they want, you are mentioning something, okay, it should not less than 50 percentage or 60 percentage. So they raised a question, no, no, we agreed with only 50 percentage, but here they are mentioning 60 percentage. So which they NFR they are looking at, maybe it's old version, or new. So just attach those link. Okay, then they immediately they open and they will verify, okay, correct, from this NFR we declare this one, everyone agreed. So we are fine with this enough our documents. Okay, we are fine with an URL and everything. Okay, any doubts? And last thing, okay, approvals. Who created this document, this test plan? Who created it? Okay, who created, who reviewed it, from whom you want to get a sign off. Okay, because there are so many people, right? So who created, who reviewed, and from whom you want to sign up, right? Because in development team there might be a number of people, right? So from which people you want to get the sign off. So from QA lead, so you need to get a sign off from QA lead, business team, project manager, and the DevOps. Suppose if you have any additional person from the business user, you have to get the sign off. Okay, any doubts in test plan and NFR? So NFR means it's a non-functional requirement. So okay, once you start a performance testing, so what are the, how we are going to approach, what are the things you need to understand, everything you will get it from NFR. Only three things: scenario, RT, the response time, and the response time, the throughput, and the configurations, as well as if there is any document. So everything will be covered in NFR. Test plan means based on NFR, how we are going to approach the scripting. Any doubt? And one more thing, best way to add before a practice, right? Try to add this as well, okay? Best way, okay? Test schedule and deliverable, okay? For example, scenario, I'm going to start today, okay? Write your start and end date. Today is I'm going to start this scenario, and today I'm going to end this time. Second thing, for this scenario, I'm going to start today's this period to this period. Okay, after completed, I'm going to take one more day to complete the test data. For example, December 1, I'll complete this. December 1, 2, 3, I'll complete this. December 3 only I'll start. I'll take 8 days because maybe this scenario 2 will be somewhat big. Okay. Then test data. After I complete this, to create a test data, I will take 8 to 10, maybe depends. Okay. Then I'll start my smoke test. Maybe 10th itself I'll do, right? Smoke test, what you will do? You just validate all the scenarios is working fine or not, right? The smoke test. Then you will do run when you will start a run. Maybe 10th I'll start a run. Report I'll create for report itself I'll take one more day. Maybe if this report is not good, I'll start run 2. Maybe if this not good, give buffer time, okay? Give buffer time. Maybe for run 3, I will create 15 or something. Maybe because you need some test data in between, right? From run 1 to run 2, you need some buffer time. Add your buffer time. Maybe mention them. Okay. Maybe I need a buffer time to create a test data here. Okay. I'll take one day. I'll take half a day. Why I'm putting a run 3 means it's tentative. Just mention that like a tentative because maybe if this run 2 is not good, dev team needs some time, right? Then you will start a run 3, correct? So just try to give some start and end time when you are going to view deliverable, when you are going to complete the report, because in every day you will send a report, right? Okay, today I just started scenario, I'm facing this much challenges. So every day you was sending the status summary, right? So based on that, you just send the start and end time when you are going to start. Definitely you will not do one run, you will do at least 3 run minimum, because you have to compare the scale, you have to compare two results, right? If it's almost same, then only your application is behaving correct, because in this run you are getting 1 second of response time. In run 2, there might be you will get 5 seconds of response time because the application is not stable. So you have to run 2 3 tests to compare the result, and you can check whether it is stable or not, correct? So you need minimum 2 to 3 tests. Okay, just mention start and end time. It's very important, but mention that the one bullet point, maybe the above timelines are subject to change if there is any issues in environment or test data creation and based on slots availability. Clear? Just mention one point after this. Okay, just mention a point, putting the notes. Clear? It's very important. Okay, so they will not ask any questions. So here itself they will okay, from this meeting itself they'll understand, oh, for this scenario too you need these many days. Why you need means maybe because of flow, because of steps, because of resource constraint. You can explain, it will be easy, because you will not raise this question at later point, right? So, and you can clearly mention this may vary, right? Based on availability, based on defect, everything, it may vary. So try to add this. Okay, discuss with your team. Definitely without peer review we will not send a report, right? So discuss with your team. Okay, this many resource we have, maybe inside the project what you will do, you will tell in a client resource saying we have only 2 resources, but we will get a help from other team as well, right? Because I'm a test lead, under my team I am handling 3 project means I know, right, who is unavailable, who is not available. So you know the based on resource constraints you can decide, right? So discuss with your team and do deliverable. Clear? Any doubts? It looks like theoretical, but it's completely theoretical only. I'll try to show the document, but not now, later, okay? But understand, it's very, very important, okay? That NFR, the test plan, okay? Because once you get a sign off, if you are missing something, right, you're not able to cover this between this period, so they will raise a question, right, to you. So any doubts? So here, what's the challenge you will face? Any idea? So to explain everything, you have to get an approval. It's very big challenge, okay? Because they will ask so many questions. Why you need this much time? Why you don't have enough resources? They will get lots of question, okay? Because they will think based on steps only. They will think. They will not understand the scripting perspective, okay? If it is only login, logout, and only 2 steps means in login itself we have to implement something means they will understand only 2 steps. For why for 2 steps you are taking these many days, right? They will ask some questions, then you have to explain. No, for login itself we need mm, some some token or something we have to get from development team. Yes, for login itself we need a test data script, so we need these many days to cover. So you have to explain based on resource thing, everything, right? So try to explain them clearly, okay? Any idea what are the challenge? The tool, okay, I'll give you the tool feasibility. As I said, you're not sure whether it's LoadRunner or JMeter. So if it's did, if they are clear, fine. If they are not clear, you need some time to do the POC. You will not sure whether this particular tool is supported or not. You will not sure you will get license easily, because to get the environment itself will be very difficult, right? You need to get a load generator. We discussed, right, the load generator. You need some machine to run this script. So if they are not giving proper configurations, they gave environment, but we need machine, right, to execute it. If they are not giving, where you will get execute, right? So these many challenge you will face, okay? So clearly mention everything during the discussions. If they are not knowing about the performance testing, explain them, okay? In your functionalities perspectives, it looks like only 2 to 3 steps, but in tool used to capture and we have to stimulate the user. The user should be working for all the users, right? The flow should work for all the users. So try to explain them, and get your proper time, okay? Don't be working critical thing. Try to get a buffer time, explain them clearly, and get a dedicate environment and everything. If they are not giving anything, mention is an out of scope, okay? You're not going to cover this. I'm not going to cover these particular things in my scope. My scope is to run a load test, execute it, and share the result. I'm not going to monitor anything, okay? Just mention everything in scope and out scope. If they are giving monitoring thing, okay, no other way, you have to monitoring it everything, correct? Any doubts? But still we have few more terminologies I'll cover, okay? Whenever we are started using that, I'll cover, then we'll see, okay? Don't get too much overloaded, as it's completely theoretical, right? But it's understandable. Without knowing this, will not start the next step, right? So that's why I'm just giving, because it's the initial steps too. Any doubt? If you're not able to ask, please write it in here. Okay, are you covering monitoring also? So we're not covering live monitoring thing, but I will explain how you can monitor what are the details you have to check it in monitoring tools. The topic will be same, but definitely if you moving into other project or something, UI will be different, but the concept is same, correct? So we are not going to see the live monitoring, but I'll explain each and every concept with a diagram and everything, how you are understanding the bottlenecks and everything. Suppose if you see some issues, how you can change it in JMeter properties, everything I'll cover. Any doubt? Shall I take it as no? Suppose if you have any doubt, okay, just tag me in WhatsApp group, okay. My name Priyanka. I think in my tag it's might be Pinky or something. Just tag me and ask your questions, okay. Suppose if I'm getting delay, please apologize. I'll try to respond soon, okay. You can also call me if you have any queries, okay. Okay, so tomorrow we'll see some executions as well as test report, right? I'll give some overview, then we'll start into the practical section. Okay, just do practice then and there. Okay, so it's open source tool. You can get the software from Google, but still the team will provide everything. Okay. Okay, then we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.